from Virginia to California, North Dakota to Tennessee, and many places in between. A total of 95 students wear an honor sash today for their outstanding scholarship. Would all students with honor sashes please stand and receive our applause. Thank you. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce the Summa Cum Laude with Distinction speakers representing the class of 2014. Eric Brinkcotter, Autumn Carlson, Haley Cisneros, Molly Gallahue, Anna Kimball, Temi Ogurade, Carly Rand, Aaron Sanislow, and Joseph Cheetah.
Hello, class of 2014. We are honored to stand before you as academic representatives of our class. Originally, it was only going to be one of us speaking, but we decided that a better way to show that we really run as one wolf pack would be for us to speak together. For the past 13 years, we have grown up together, and now it's time for us to go our separate ways. But before we do that, we want to take it back a little bit. So let's go back to the beginning.
Ooh, dinosaurs!
Not that far back. We're not talking about our parents here. I mean, back 18 years ago, to when you said your first words, or took your first steps. Most of you probably don't remember that, but I'm sure for your parents, they remember them as some of the biggest moments in your life. But maybe you remember your first day of kindergarten. Maybe it was your first time taking the school bus. For some, also your first time leaving your parents. Even though we may have been at different schools or even different states, we all had similar experiences along the way.
No matter where we were, a defining moment of those first few weeks of school was September 11, 2001. An event which changed the world as we knew it. Also, the first iPod came out, and look at us now, each of us carrying an iPad around at school. After a year of learning the ins and outs of the iPads, it's like only yesterday that we turned them in.
Eric, because it was.
Right. So other firsts came after, like learning to read and write, and making new friends, some of which may be sitting next to you right now. For many of you, your first experience in Wolfpack Stadium was the track and field day, where you might have met some of your future high school friends without even realizing it. There were all those little songs that we sang in choir, and the keyboards unit. Maybe you even started to play a new instrument. Remember all the fun times in gym class, roller skating and bowling, doing the YMCA and Macarena, back when life was carefree?
And then came middle school. Suddenly we were in this big school and having to switch classes throughout the day. It was an awkward transition period where we were trying to figure out who we wanted to be and how we wanted to fit in, and we only had 2 years to do this.
Thank goodness it was only 2 years.
Maybe it was only 2 years, but we were changing, as was the world around us. Another defining moment in history was the election of President Barack Obama, and for some of us, it was the first time we formulated our own political opinions. We started becoming independent thinkers and began to realize a number of things, such as just how awkward middle school dances were, and some of us might have even realized that grades might actually start to matter. We all thought we were so cool trying to act grown up and get ready for high school. Little did we know what we were in for.
For many of us, the first time we walked into Park High School was when we were all herded into the gym for freshman orientation by this group of crazy upperclassmen and teachers flailing their arms and shouting at us. Miss Iden? Then, I'm sure we all remember our first day of high school, getting lost in the halls as the seniors towered over us. We had to find a place to sit at lunch, and we learned the unspoken rules of the hallway. We realized that high school was nothing like you see in the movies. Seniors aren't going to stuff you into trash cans. But if you step on the Indian, that might be a different story. We soon learned the ropes on how to survive high school and take responsibility for ourselves. And by the end of the year, we had become a part of the wolf pack.
Sophomore year came and went. We got our driver's licenses. Some of us got our first jobs. We became more mature and independent.
Well, some of us.
Well, all of us had to become more mature and independent when junior year came around. We were finally upperclassmen and started to split off into different directions in life. Yet, we still ran as one. The future was finally becoming real as we started looking at colleges, the military, and things to do after high school. Some of us went to prom for the first time.
They say junior year is the hardest part of high school.
And they're probably right.
From the ACT to the PSAT to college searches to difficult classes.
It's a struggle to stay sane. But during junior year, we really started to find ourselves and discovered who we truly were. The future started getting closer and became more of a reality than a dream. It wasn't so hazy anymore.
And after junior year ended, then it finally came, what we had all been waiting for.
Drum roll.
Senior year.
And while our senior year didn't consist of elaborate musical numbers in the lunchroom, it was nevertheless exciting.
We began the year of lasts.
Our last first day of high school,
Our last homecoming football game.
which we won!
Our last year of running to the lunchroom for Dunker Day.
Our last high school winter, after which we feel like we could survive any winter.
Ha, the cold never bothered me anyway.
We had our last snow week,
Our last spring break.
our last prom,
Our last spring week.
our last high school exams,
Our last day of high school.
and our last high school graduation.
But it's also our first graduation.
For all the last experience this year, we've also had so many firsts.
We filled out our first college applications.
Received our first acceptance letters,
Maybe you bought your first lottery ticket.
but hopefully you haven't experienced jury duty yet.
And now we've begun to take our first real steps towards our futures, whatever they may be. The lasts may be bittersweet, but the firsts of the future before us are limitless.
And now it's over. Hello. Woo woo. Wait, no, not this speech. This journey. We're preparing for our next steps in life. And sometimes we ask ourselves, are we ready? Can we do this? High school didn't prepare us for everything. Many of us don't know how to jumpstart a car, pay bills, file taxes, or even mail a letter. Because the truth is, the world is a big and scary place. But I'm not worried about any of us, and this is why. We came into this school and changed things, academically, athletically, artistically, and culturally. Our test scores went through the roof. Our sports teams became teams to fear, and we accomplished so much. The art displayed around the school is something to be proud of, and theater made it to one-act state for the first time in years. We're even changing things right now, at this moment, with this speech. Instead of highlighting one individual, we said no. Let's work together and bring all of us and change the idea of the traditional valedictorian speech.
But most importantly, we've left a legacy that will be one to remember. We hope to make Park one Wolfpack, rather than just a group of students. The things we've accomplished in and out of the classroom prove that we shouldn't be worried about the world changing us, but be excited for how we can change the world. This is your future, this is our future, and always remember, we run as one. So as we walk across the stage to receive our diplomas, we take the last steps of our high school career and the first into our future.